Dexter Season 8 episode review video. Before I get into that, though, pretty important, if you aren't caught up to the point where I am, you're watching Dexter, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention, as well as put in the description for you if that happens to be the case and you are not caught up. It would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And if you want to see my initial review of this episode of Dexter, at the end of this video, with about 20 seconds left, it will show up in the end screen right about here. You can check it out. It's terrible quality, but hey, it's me talking about Dexter, I believe in 2019 or possibly early 2020. So I'll put that right there and let me know what you think. Audio was terrible, lighting was terrible, but I did wear Dexter's smock and his shirt, if that's any better, and I haven't done that for these episodes of Dexter. Anyway, this will be Dexter Season 8, Episode 11. The title of this episode is called Monkey in a Box. And this will be my review, reaction, recap after just finishing watching the episode. So Dexter washes all of Evelyn's blood off himself. He also gets rid of all the discs and files at Evelyn's or on Evelyn's computer of him and Harry. And then Dexter calls in the crime to Miami Metro. They show up. Batista and Quinn question Dexter. I believe Soderquist is also at the scene wearing a police jacket. I'm not 100% sure, but it's probably Soderquist. Dexter says that he did indeed move the body. Why he did that, why he told him that, I don't know, but he did move Evelyn's body. And Batista tells Dexter to go and that he'll see him tomorrow for his last day on the job. Dexter tells Deb that Evelyn's dead. She's the reason they found their way back to each other. Deb says if she catches Saxon, it will be her way. And she's not handing him over to Dexter. I don't think Dexter really cares. He just wants Saxon out of the picture. Maybe not, though. Harrison has combed his hair. And it kind of looks like Donald J. Trump. Off to Jamie's Harrison goes. Hannah has booked their itinerary. And Dexter tells Hannah Dr. Vogel's dead, and she just says, "Oh God, I'm so sorry." Like, I don't think she showed enough empathy there, even though she's a serial killer. She should have been more upset about Dr. Vogel's death. And then Sill's back, putting Dexter's place on the market. Miguel Prado's wife. If we remember Sill, it's been a while since we've seen her. I forgot she came back for a quick, it's more than one scene on this show. And Jamie can't believe that Dexter's going to move. What is she going to do? She's going to have so much free time because she's not busy watching Harrison. Tropical Storm Laura is on the way as Dexter is looking to sell his boat. Masuka could go for some hookers and some blow right now. Nikki tells Dexter Quinn's looking for him in the interrogation room for a DNA swab. Dexter goes in the interrogation room and Saxon is in there. Awkward! He's there to give a swab for Cassie's murder to clear his name because, well, they said that they were looking for him and he just kind of disappeared. He didn't want any bad raps on his name, so that's why he came back. Deb's sitting up at her desk, and Deb wonders why Dexter's helping Miami Metro get Saxon. Deb takes pens out of Quinn's drawer. The ring is still in there. He held onto it, just in case he decides to marry someone else. So Deb is back on the job at Miami Metro where she belongs. And Quinn mentions to Deb as he comes over while she's doing this to keep his stapler away from Soderquist. So we get a name mention of Soderquist in this episode. It's been a while since we've had his name mentioned. I don't think we've heard it since he was added to the wedding list in Season 3 of Dexter. I could be wrong on that, but, well, they randomly mentioned his name in the briefing room. Soderquist, Ramos, go do this. But, wow, with Soderquist's name mentioned, that almost gives him the character of the episode. So Dexter goes into the old hospital he thinks Saxon may be at, and Dexter finds Saxon's kill room, but it doesn't look like Saxon's been living there. Dexter tells Ghost Harry he wants Saxon dead by anybody's hands, whether it be him or anybody else or any type of system like electric chair or lethal injection. He finds Saxon's laptop. He recorded all of his kills. There's the proof. Saxon's fucked. Marshall Clayton, otherwise known as Cooper on IMDb, makes a late visit to the station to question Deb. She tells Clayton that she took Harrison to the hospital, and then he says, "Welcome back, detective." Obviously, it doesn't seem like Marshall Clayton or Cooper believes Deb, and he'll be in touch. Vogel's memorial service, and everyone's there, even Soderquist. Soderquist is getting a lot of play in this episode and the last one. Matthews thanks everybody for coming to Evelyn's memorial, even though they didn't really know her that well, and now Matthews wants to grab a drink. If Dexter decides to come back, he just needs to let Tom Matthews know. Quinn and Dexter are talking about Deb being back on the force, and another Soderquist scene as he's in the background as they're talking. Man, Soderquist, he's like the star of this episode, getting a lot of play. He's getting more play than Batista. Batista's kind of an afterthought in this season, like LaGuerta was in last season. I mean, he's there, but he doesn't really do a lot. He's just the lieutenant that doesn't really do a lot. It's the Quinn season, Quinn, Deb, and Dexter season. So, but now Dexter's okay with Quinn being in Deb's life again, as he doesn't want her to be alone. Syl calls Dexter with someone that wants to make an offer on his apartment. Batista tells Dexter he's not sure what this place is going to be like without you. And Batista toasts Dexter, says he'll always be in their hearts. Very touching moment by Batista. He finally did something in this season. I know his son played him at certain parts in this season. I'm not sure what parts those were, but they apparently look very identical. I think it was when he was wearing a suit when he was at a crime scene earlier in the season. But yes, David Zayas' son played him for like 3 scenes at one point during this season. I'm sure you guys already knew that, but I knew that, and I just wanted to mention that. And during this toast, Dexter's actually getting a little choked up. It's not an act this time. Dexter's actually got feelings for these people finally. And we find out that Saxon's the one that wanted to take a quick look at Dexter's place. Should have made it more interesting and had Saxon kill Syl. And Saxon wants to have Dexter show him the place instead. So they do. He wants to walk away, and he wants them to go their separate paths. Saxon tells Dexter if he chooses poorly, he will lose. Saxon thinks Dexter created the perfect cover, but he doesn't know it's not a cover. Maybe at one point it was, but it's not anymore. And then we have Marshall Clayton, otherwise known as Marshall Cooper, thinks Deb is helping Hannah McKay and goes to Elway with this information. Deb thinks Hannah should go on one of those cooking shows, and she'd win. Her food is delicious when it's not poisoned with something. Elway shows up at Deb's place. He wants to apologize. He's just there to gather information and see if he sees anything. And Deb says she's got a lot of shit to do. So would you kindly get the fuck out of my house? Great line by Deb. Probably my favorite line in this episode. Dexter talks about the truce Saxon offered him to Deb and Hannah. He threatened Hannah, Deb, Harrison, Astor, and Cody. Where are Astor and Cody at? They should have made a cameo appearance in Season 8 because they're not in Season 8. Deb takes Hannah to a hotel. And Deb actually thinks Dexter's making a mistake going after Saxon, and he should be at the hotel with Hannah. So now Deb is like, you know, this Hannah McKay chick, she may be crazy and a murderer, but she's pretty cool when she's not doing that stuff. And she can cook like a motherfucker. Dexter sends some videos of Saxon killing people to an online news tip place, so Saxon will be drawn to come to him now. Nikki gives Quinn Saxon's DNA results, and they all find out that he's related to Evelyn Vogel. Deb comes to Dexter's as it's his last night. It's his last night in Miami, and they're having dinner tonight, regardless of how busy Dexter is. Dexter doesn't want her to be there. Of course he doesn't. He doesn't like it when anybody comes over. And Deb says nothing is going to stop her from having one more night with her brother in Miami. And then Elway and Marshall Clayton, otherwise known as Marshall Cooper, with agents, are actually searching Deb's place while she's gone. Deb asks how Astor and Cody are doing. So they do get mentions in this episode, which is nice. And Dexter says Astor can have his SUV. Says if she can, Deb could drive it up to, I think they're in Orlando with Paul's parents. Paul's parents, their grandparents, if she has a chance. Deb has the moral compass that Dexter always wishes he had. Deb says the code wasn't the thing that made him a good brother. He was just a good brother naturally. I don't think actually that Dexter ever faked his feelings for Deb. Even when they were kids, he had to bond to somebody, and I think Deb and Harry and maybe the mom he actually liked. I don't know for sure though, but I'm for sure Deb, for 100% sure. And then Deb finds out from the news broadcast that Dexter is trying to force Saxon's hand. That's why he needs Deb to leave. Saxon shows up at Dexter's place. Saxon is about to get Dexter while he's sleeping, but Dexter wasn't sleeping. Dexter gets Saxon with the M99, and Deb was behind him with her gun drawn as backup. So Saxon wakes up in his own kill room, strapped to the chair. He tells Saxon he loves Hannah and he'd rather be with her and be here with you. And Dexter really doesn't even want to be here. He says he doesn't need to kill Saxon. He says Saxon is going to die in the electric chair or by lethal injection anyway. Actually, I think he just said electric chair, but I don't think they do electric chair deaths anymore, do they? Well, maybe, I don't know when that stopped, but I thought that stopped. So Dexter calls Deb and says, change of plans. Turns out Marshall Clayton, otherwise known as Marshall Cooper, is following Deb. Dexter wants Deb to arrest Saxon. Dexter and Deb hug. Dexter says this is just for right now, or for right now, not forever. And then Deb tells Dexter to go get on that plane. Ghost Harry asks Dexter if he's sure about this, and he says he thought this day would never come and that he doesn't need him anymore. And round of applause. That is the last time we see Harry and Dexter. Deb calls in for backup. Marshall Clayton, otherwise known as Marshall Cooper, lets Saxon loose, and Saxon stabs Cooper or Clayton and kills him. And then Deb comes in and says, don't move. And Saxon shoots Deb. She calls it in that she's been shot. Please send help. Harrison says goodbye to Jamie, the mother that he didn't realize he had, because Jamie's with him all the time. And I'm sure Jamie said goodbye to Dexter as well. And then Dexter's dark passenger says his future is brighter than it's ever been. And that's what ends the episode. So pretty awesome episode of Dexter. I have to give it a 10 out of 10. I wasn't expecting to give this episode a 10 out of 10. These last episodes of Season 8 have been better. I always like Season 8 towards the end, but they're actually better than I thought. It's just those beginning episodes, like 4, 5, 3, are kind of boring. But my male character of the episode, I'm going to give to Saxon. My female character of the episode is going to be Deb. And for our death in this episode, we lost Marshall Clayton, otherwise known as Marshall Cooper. I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10 because I actually really like the actor, even though I haven't really seen a lot of things that he's been in. But I really liked his role on The Shield, and it's unfortunate that his character, spoiler alert, was killed in Season 5 of The Shield. It's been a while since I've watched The Shield. I actually tried to review those episodes on YouTube, and I got like 2 views on each video, so I usually don't do that. If there's something I want to watch and review, I just review it despite what the view count is, but I really wasn't into it, and it's an older show, but I might try to revisit that. If anybody likes The Shield, I might try revisiting that. I think I got 3 episodes or 2 so far on the channel, if you can find it on that playlist. So Clayton, I'll give him a 6 out of 10 because I think he was a formidable agent. He just got outsmarted by a guy that he thought was innocent that turned out to be like a killer. So you've heard what I have to say. I'm having issues speaking all of a sudden. I don't know why though. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of Dexter or Dexter New Blood and want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, go ahead and Hulk smash that like button. Yeah, I fooled you. I said Hulk smash this time. Share the video with whomever you want. Put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on this episode of Dexter. What would you score the episode? Who would be your male and female characters of the episode? If you want to rate Marshall Clayton, otherwise known as Marshall Cooper, go ahead and do so. Remember to check out my original review of this episode of Dexter right here. It's not good quality, but hey, it's me talking about Dexter in a different format. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You're watching the video anyway. Subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And JDev will return.